I want to talk about how did we get here, the Australian story on a housing crisis and homelessness through my eyes. Okay, so first of all, we need to understand what is negative gearing and why does the Australian government allow it. Okay, negative gearing is when a landlord loses money on a rental property but gets to claim that loss as a tax deduction. So even if they're not making a profit from rent, they can still reduce their income tax bill at the end of every financial year. Here's how it's justified. Number one, it takes pressure off public housing. Private investors provide rental homes, so the government doesn't have to build or manage as much public housing. Saves taxpayer dollars at least up front. Number two, it supports the construction industry. Investors may buy new homes, they renovate old ones. That means more jobs for tradies, more economic activity, and short term growth. This is especially popular in construction heavy electorates. Number three, it keeps middle income voters happy. Roughly half of all property investors in Australia use negative gearing, and many are middle class. So we have teachers, nurses, tradies, mums, and dads. Removing negative gearing would be a political suicide. Just ask anyone who tried. Any political party that even talks about cancelling negative gearing, they lose the election. So, number four, the government still gets paid, but later. Even though landlords claim losses today, they often sell at a profit. That profit is taxed through capital gains tax, CGT. Loss now, gain later. That's the government's logic. Okay. Number five, it boosts the economy and confidence. More investors equal higher house prices. Higher house prices, more paper wealth. More wealth, more spending. It's not just about shelter, it's about economic psychology. But here's the flip side. Negative gearing also drives up house prices, locks out first home buyers, makes renting harder and more expensive, deepens inequality, especially for essential workers. Negative gearing is like giving tax perks to people just for participating in the property market, even if they're losing money. It helps investors and it's supposed to stimulate short term growth, but hurts housing affordability long term. So, for clarity, once you understand how we got here, you're ready to help build what comes next. So they say it all started during the John Howard era, 1996 to 2007, and there's good reason for that. So in 1999, his government halved the capital gains tax, CGT, on assets held longer than 12 months. Some say this opened the door to a new era of speculation. Others say it was a smart economics for a growing nation. Suddenly, housing becomes the most attractive investment in the country. Investors piled in and prices surged. This one change helped trigger a massive shift in Australia's housing market. It made property more profitable, especially for those with money, but it wasn't the only factor. In the year 2000s, all the way to 2020, this is the speculation era. First home buyers started getting locked out. Inner city suburbs began to gentrify. Home ownership for under 40s started falling fast. Right? And then, boom, 2020 COVID lockdowns hit the world. Banks paused payments. Everyone thought the market might crash, but instead it triple boomed. Property prices skyrocketed and haven't looked back since. No one planned this and no one predicted it either, but this is how the system evolved in Australia. So, what we have, the real issue we have in Australia is the price to income ratio. It's not about interest rates, it's about the price of the home versus your income as a buyer. So, the current ratio in 2024 is actually 11 times your annual income. So the median house in 2024 was $925,000. Median income in 2024 was $85,000. So that ratio is 10.9. Now you compare that to era 1980s, median house price was 40,000, median income was 15,000. So that's a 2.7 times ratio. 2000s, median price house was 200,000. Median income was 40,000. So that's 5 times your ratio. 2024, 925,000, and you earn 85,000. That comes out to 10.9 times ratio. Economists say 3 to 5 times is a healthy, sustainable range. At 11 times, most Australians now rely on the bank of mum and dad or give up on buying altogether. Australia also has a cultural obsession with property. Real estate in Australia is bigger than the superannuation or stocks. It's become our national retirement plan. Some say this is smart planning, others say it's left too many behind. The most property investors today, they're not billionaires, they're regular mums and dads, just trying to set themselves up. That's the reality. You may ask, why is housing too big to fail? So over 80% of bank lending is tied to residential mortgages in Australia. Real estate in Australia is 100% backed by the government, because if it collapses, the economy risks going with it. We had former PM John Howard once said, no homeowner has ever complained that their house value went up. Then we had the housing minister, Claire O'Neill, on a talkback show, I believe on Triple M radio station here in Australia. The government wants to see sustainable price growth. That means not going backwards, right? They want prices to rise. So 1.3 million Australians used negative gearing in 2022 to 2023. Housing isn't just shelter anymore in Australia. It's the backbone of Australia's banking system. Some reforms have been tried. Labor ran on ending negative gearing in 2016 and 2019 and lost both elections. That's why no one wants to talk about housing. No political party ever wants to touch housing. So housing is no longer just a roof. It's the $11.5 trillion foundation of the entire financial system in Australia. And this is just how the system was built. But now we understand it. Hopefully you understand it as well. We can build something better. So we just use truth and data and dignity to create solutions. That's what the Idunn Foundation is trying. And if this resonates with you, we're looking for board members. Come join us. Let's build something together. So, follow the journey, share the spark, and you know how we close this.